And it's 1 minute, and of course, when Clark arrives, he bumps everything.
Huh?
When Clark arrives, he bumps everything.
Okay. All right, so we should get started so we can get as many people as possible done.
Good afternoon. My name is Sylvia Garcia, and I'm from Houston, Texas. I represent Texas 29. I'm also the lead sponsor of the Dream and Promise Act. Today, the Supreme Court gave the Trump administration even more power to strip humanitarian protections from people who could not safely return to their countries. This ruling immediately threatens temporary protected status, TPS, holders from Haiti and Syria. But it will not stop there. We know Donald Trump. He has ordered the termination of every TPS designation that has come up for renewal. That's 13 countries. That is not a careful evaluation of conditions on the ground. It's a coordinated campaign to rip legal protections away from immigrant families. These families have done everything we've asked of them. They registered with the government. They passed background checks. They paid fees. They've shown up to renew every single time they needed to, worked legally, and paid taxes. The reward should not be deportation. TPS is not a loophole. Congress created it for moments when war, violence, or natural disaster make it unsafe to return home. Trump wants the power to declare countries safe and sound and send them people back into chaos without little evaluation or any meaningful review by the courts. He frankly wants the power to pick and choose over one country over another. When hundreds and thousands of people have work authorizations, businesses lose workers. School teachers and schools will be lost. Hospitals lose caregivers. American children risk losing their parents. Today, it's Haitians and Syrians. Tomorrow, it could be any one of our TPS communities, our families, our neighbors. We must protect TPS holders from deportation. These families are not political pawns. They are people. They're not invisible, and they're not disposable. They deserve better. They deserve safety. And they need to stay in this place they call home. Now I will turn this podium over to our next speaker, who is Representative Delia Ramirez of Illinois.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Incredibly grateful for the leadership of Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia. And look, we all know that since they returned to power, the Trump-Miller white nationalist administration has waged a war against our immigrant communities. We feel it every single day. They're trying to define who gets to be an American, who gets to be worthy of being able to stay here, and who gets to experience the promise of safety and refuge. Look, Trump and Miller seek to deny immigrants safety even if they've lived here for decades, even if America is the place that they call home and the only place that they know as home. And today, Trump's loyalists in the Supreme Court have joined forces with him to deny immigrants internationally recognized human rights and advance an authoritarian white supremacist agenda here at home. And friends, it is shameful what the Supreme Court did today. The Supreme Court's decision puts more than 350,000 TPS holders at risk of deportation. Their TPS will be terminated not because of the conditions that made immigrants seek refuge in our country have changed in any way. It's because they do not fit Trump and Miller's idea of who deserves to be safe, who has the right to dignity, and who gets to be an American. You and I know that is unacceptable. It is why we are standing here in this press conference with the CHC say that we will not allow this to be the lay of the land. And while I know that today feels like a dark day, a day that could lead us to despair, let me be clear. We stay here defiant to the injustice that we saw from this Supreme Court decision. because we know that the antidote to despair is action. We must unleash our collective outrage. We must demand better of our country and its leaders, and we must turn up the volume in the streets, in the courts, and in Congress. Because today is a moment to stand up and to fight back. This year is the 250th anniversary of America. The anniversary serves only as a commemoration, but it's also a choice point. We can choose to strip the administration of the tools they have used against our communities by abolishing ICE and dismantling DHS. We can choose to honor the contributions of immigrants by bringing 11 million people out of the shadows. We can choose to recognize our shared commitment to never again turning our backs on those that seek refuge. And we can choose to create pathways to citizenship for DACA recipients, TPS holders, and people in mixed status. We have a choice today, and I know what side I am on. I am on the side of justice. We are on the side of justice. And we ask the American people, what side are you on? We ask our colleagues in Congress, what side are you on? Because we know that Congress has an obligation to prove that every immigrant community be seen, heard, and valued, and we will not be divided. We will continue to fight for TPS holders, we will continue to fight for immigrant communities, and we will continue to do it together. To talk a little bit more about how we do that together, help me welcome to the podium a congresswoman who may just be here about a year and a half, but has been hitting the ground running every single day, and that is not state representative, Congresswoman Laura Gillen. From New York.
Well, Sylvia, thank you for bringing us all here today. Thank you, Delia, for your passionate words. I'm Congresswoman Laura Gillen, and like everybody standing here today, I was devastated to hear this morning that the Supreme Court ruled against the safety of millions of law-abiding Haitians in our country. My district in Nassau County is home to one of the largest Haitian populations in the United States, and we are incredibly proud of that. Haitian Long Islanders are part of the very fabric of our communities. Before I came to Congress, I made a promise to the Haitian community in New York's 4th Congressional District that I would use my voice and I would work with anyone to keep them safe. And that is why the very first piece of legislation that I introduced as a member of Congress was a bipartisan bill to extend TPS for Haiti. The Supreme Court's cruel and harmful decision to end TPS for the hardworking, law-abiding Haitians in this country now puts our friends and our neighbors' lives at risk. They could now be forced to face horrific violence and chaos in Haiti. We may now see parents having to decide if they will take their children with them back to Haiti to dangerous conditions or separate themselves from their own children. This is wrong, this is cruel, and this is un-American. And this flies in the face of the administration's own designation of Haiti as a maximum travel risk. I've stood shoulder to shoulder with our Haitian community on Long Island throughout this fight, pushed back against the administration, and fought this termination in the courts. I was proud to pass, with my colleagues here, the bill in the House to extend this life-saving protection by discharge petition earlier this year. And I will continue to work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle and in both chambers of Congress to ensure that it passes in the Senate. We will not relent in securing our Haitian neighbors' safety. Removing them would not just be a humanitarian catastrophe, it would also hurt our economy. Haitian TPS recipients are part of the very fabric of our daily lives and pillars of our economy and our faith communities. They're a fundamental part of our vibrant identity on Long Island, and I'm committed to standing up for their safety and their security. This fight is not over. Thank you. And now I pass it over to my colleague. Okay. Congressman Vargas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia and the CHC for bringing us together today. Today's Supreme Court decision to terminate TPS for Haiti and Syria is a total betrayal of our nation's commitment and values. This is no longer a Supreme Court. This is a rubber stamp. That's all it is. It's a rubber stamp for this crooked president. hundreds of thousands of people who hold legal status registered with the government. They trusted the process. Now they face being torn from their families and sent back to very dangerous conditions. Nothing about this decision makes us safer or stronger. It's just plain cruel. And I think my colleague said it well. It will not stand. We will not allow it to stand. Thank you again. Appreciate it. I want to now have the opportunity to introduce our leader, Pete.
Thank you. I'm going to thank Juan Vargas from California, and of course Sylvia Garcia for her leadership on this issue. And we heard from Congresswoman Laura Gillen, who carried Democratic legislation that would put at ease individuals with TPS status. But I share my colleague's concern. What we saw out of the Supreme Court with this ruling was dreadful. It was dreadful to families. It was dreadful to our economy. And it will harm each and every one of the states in our nation. Families should have certainty. That's what Democrats have advocated for, the certainty that TPS is there and that TPS matters. And to have a president who can unilaterally change the rules as he goes is shameful and awful. And Democrats will continue to step up and speak out and lead with legislation to ensure that individuals with TPS status have the certainty and security that they deserve to live in our communities. Thank you so much. And it's my honor to introduce a fighter for New Jersey and someone who I'm honored to call a friend, Representative Rob Menendez.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you to Sylvia. Thank you to all of our incredible colleagues for the work that they've been doing for the entirety of the Trump administration, standing up for all of our communities, standing up for all of our immigrant neighbors, brothers, and sisters, and being part of this fight as we push back against the Trump administration. Today's Supreme Court decision continues in a disgusting line of decisions by the court that green lights, rubber stamps what this administration is trying to do. Today, it's TPS for Haitians. But you have to look at the bigger picture. This administration wants to create the largest undocumented population that it possibly can to fulfill Stephen Miller's mission of deporting and removing as many people as possible. This isn't about good policy or about what's right or wrong for the United States. This is purely about inflicting as much pain on our immigrant neighbors as possible to drive the largest number of them possible out of this country, but we will not stand for it. We have not stood for it the entirety of this administration. We will not stand for it today. We will not stand for it moving forward. We'll continue to fight. Continue to fight, not just for our neighbors, but continue to fight for what this country has and must continue to be, a beacon of hope for people across the globe who yearn for freedom, who yearn for a shot at the American dream. That's what TPS provided so many individuals, hundreds of thousands who are being stripped of that protection today. And we will not be silent in this moment. We will not be silent as the Trump administration continues to try to do maximal harm to our communities. We'll fight back, but we need the American people to join us in this fight, to say this is not who we are as a country. We know this is wrong. We need everyone to speak up against it. We certainly will here in CHC. We certainly will here in the Democratic Caucus. We are in this fight today, and we're in this fight every day moving forward. Mellon. And with that, I'd like to call up Congresswoman Melanie Stansberry.
Good afternoon. I'm Congresswoman Melanie Stansberry and proud to represent New Mexico's 1st Congressional District, a proud border state. And what I want to say is today we are watching an administration that is un-American, undemocratic, and unjust, and a Supreme Court that has not only lost its moral compass, but its legal compass. A nation built by immigrants that is now denying immigrants their basic human rights in our generation. Today we watched as the Supreme Court sided with an administration that is seeking to strip away the basic human rights protected under international law for hundreds of thousands of American families. And where are they being told to return to? These are immigrants who are coming from countries that have faced warfare, political instability, humanitarian crises, and now the Supreme Court has cleared the way to allow this administration to carry out a mass deportation plan against immigrants who have nowhere to go. This is not about justice. This is about cruelty masquerading as policy. This country has always been a beacon of hope for people fleeing violence and persecution. Turning our backs on vulnerable families is not who we are. We must continue to fight. We will fight back here in Congress, in the courts, and in our communities. And we must have the courage to stand up for what is right.
You're next. Arlene. Introduce yourself. Is Arlene? Gerline. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Gerline Joseph. I am the co-founder and executive director of the Haitian Alliance. We stand here with the members of the CHC to acknowledge the realities of today. And I bring forth the voices of the Haitian community. We woke up this morning in fear of what that means: family separation, deportation, and those are the realities. We have TPS holders who have been in this country calling the United States home for the past 10, 15, 20 years. They are our doctors, caregivers, attorneys, taxi drivers, the immigrants who keep these United States of ours moving. Today, the Supreme Court sent a blow to the community, to all immigrants, but we stand firm, undeterred, strong to let the community know and all immigrants know that we will not be defeated. Yes, today hurts, but we will continue to fight on behalf of the 1.3 million TPS holders from 17 countries. Today, it is Haiti and Syria. Tomorrow is Venezuela, Nicaragua, and others. So together, we say no to injustice, and we must make sure that we as a country stand on the right side of history. This is the moment that will prove who we are as a people, as a country, because of how we protect those who are most in need. Thank you so much for having us, and we'll continue to fight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Next, we have Congressman Maxine Dexter from California, I believe.
From California? Is it me? No,
Yeah.
Oregon.
Oregon.
That's fine.
Sorry, Oregon.
That's no problem. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Garcia, the CHC, and everyone for speaking today. Today's ruling puts TPS at risk for hundreds of thousands of our neighbors, people who registered with the government, who were vetted, who trusted the process, at risk of deportation. These are people who have worked and raised families in our communities, and they have faced violence and injustice at home, hoping to come here to build a strong and secure home and family life, and here we are, turning our back from them. My people in Portland continue to ask me, what can I do? How can I help? Today, make a decision to stand up for our immigrant families who are being put at risk. I want my emails, my texts, my calls blowing up talking about this. This is a time for action. This is unjust, and we all need to stand together. I'm grateful for the CHC leading us, and I demand humanity, justice, and an overthrow of this unjust Supreme Court decision. We have to fight back. And with that, I am going to hand it, Jim Costa.
Thank you very much. Congressman Jim Costa, representing the wonderful people of the 21st Congressional District in California's San Joaquin Valley, a land of immigrants past and immigrants present. And it is a sad day for all of us as we witness the ruling by the United States Supreme Court on the temporary protected status. It was created by a bipartisan act in Congress to protect people who cannot safely return home because of war, violence, natural disasters, or other extraordinary humanitarian causes. and crisis. But it reflects, more importantly, the values of our nation, upheld for generations. When people are fleeing the unimaginable, America can lead with both compassion and common sense. But Supreme Court's decision today ignores that. For generations, immigrants have helped build our country. In the San Joaquin Valley in California, they've helped create farms, businesses, schools. They have succeeded in so many different ways, coming from humble beginnings. They are our neighbors, co-workers, and our friends, and they strengthen the local economy, help shake our valley into what it is today. Many of the TPS recipients have lived in the United States for years. They have raised their families, paid taxes, and started businesses, contributing to our communities. This is not right. It is not fair. Today, the Haitians and Syrians. Tomorrow, who's next? Where will the Supreme Court go? Where will this administration go to ignore those people who have helped build America? It's in our history. They deserve an immigration system that is fair and grounded in our nation's values. We should approach America's 250th anniversary recognizing that this is not the message we want to send around the world. America, for 250 years, has been a beacon of light for immigrants, past and present. We can secure our borders, enforce our immigration laws, and remain true to humanitarian values that are at the heart of who we are as Americans. America is strong enough to do both, and I stand proudly with my colleagues on the importance of this issue. We will stand together and we will speak up for what is right and what is good about America. Thank you very much, Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you, and in behalf of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and all the co-leads with me on the American Dream and Promise Act, we want to thank you for being here. We know it's hot, but we're all willing to stay here for a few more minutes if anyone has any questions of anybody here at the podium. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to get into sort of the broader impact of the ruling. There's still, I think, 11 other countries with TPS.
I believe it's 13.
Oh, I'm saying 11 others.
Yeah.
That were impacted by the ruling today. So I just kind of wanted to get your sense of like where things stand for people from these 11 other countries, how this will impact them, kind of concerns about that going forward.
Well, you know, obviously we're all trying to digest this, but we know the record. We've talked about it. Many of our members spoke about that. We know what Donald Trump will do. He will take this now. Today it's Haiti and Syria. Which country will be next? Will it be one, will it be two, or will it be all of them? So this really does put everything at risk, and that's why we're speaking today, because we're not going to stand here and put up with it. I know that Representative Gillian and others have already done the discharge petition on Haiti, and we'll continue with more actions to ensure that all our TPS holders are protected. Anybody want to add anything? Anybody else? Sure.
Thank you so much. I want to add that we have 32 days as of today to really understand what will happen. But we also have the discharge petition version in the Senate. We are asking the Senate to stand on the side of justice to be able to protect immediately those impacted by this ruling.
Anyone else? Well, I think that the other decision, and she's referring to the one on asylum, I think it's even more horrific, because I think it will give Trump the power that he's wanted to just decide who can come in and who can't and seek asylum. So I think this really puts all of that in jeopardy also. Anybody else? Well, thank you all again, and enjoy the break. Thank you all.